Hey ladies and gentlemen, today is another beautiful day. I want to introduce to you a program called Talk the Walk. Talk the Walk is a weekly program brought to you by myself. My name is T.R. Prosper. I'm the Chief Executive and Founder of Talk the Walk. Today in studio, we have none other than Mr. B Africa. Now, do you know about bees? Bees are very important insects. They pollinate. They help to carry on pollination. And for example, if you have eaten something today, it means that the bees are that important. In studios, look out for Mr. B Africa. He has the answers. There's so many byproducts of honey, things that we can get from honey. He will explain. He's going to leave his contacts. You can connect with him. He can show you how you can make money through bees. Thank you for tuning in. Talk the Walk. My name is T.R. Prosper, and I'm very, very happy to bring you this amazing young man who's making great impact in Africa, especially in Uganda. God bless you.
Well, yes, of course, Talk the Walk Show. Thank you so much for tuning in.
A TV which is going to build you, which is going to add on you, and which is going to really give you entertainment that is really educative, and which is going to be really very wonderful and very good for you, for your livelihood. My name is Moses Sumlin.
Talk the Walk Show, the TV show, your favorite, every Friday. Talk the Walk Show, come and watch. Talk the Walk Show. If you ate something today, you should remember that what you ate was pollinated by the bees. This would mean the bees are that important. Talk the Walk Show. I remain yours sincerely, Stephen Kunihira from Mr. Bees Africa Limited.
Nalunga Victoria, your urban farmer. So let's keep agriculture burning. Keep watching Talk the Walk TV show. See you.
I'm here, presenter Ruswat Alan. I'll be bringing you people who make this world move.
We are proudly sponsored by TC Holiday Homes. I think you can see, if you look around, I think you can see the dining, the fancy chairs, everything that is around me is really looking good. Yeah, that is one of our homes, the one in Busega, and the next show those ends of edges. So if you want these homes, you can also reach on to us, our social media platforms, and our numbers. You can always calling Zibeira Kawansi. Yes, crazy. You can always reach on to us. Everything goes on well. Yes, Talk the Walk TV with Prosper.
Say what? A bee is a very important insect in the world. It has played a very important role in your life since you were born up to now. Today, I host a very important person in the role of keeping bees. He's called Mr. B Africa. Mr. B Africa, you have won so many awards in agriculture. What's your take on that?
First of all, I would like to introduce myself to our viewers who are watching this program. By name, I'm Stephen Kunihira from Mr. Bees Africa Limited. I'm a beekeeper, a consultant, and a bees trainer. Regarding your question about my take on beekeeping in Uganda, I would like to remind our viewers that beekeeping started many years ago before many of us who are watching this program were born. It started like people were doing honey hunting, not beekeeping. People moved to forests, mountains, and then start hunting honey. No. But eventually, when people woke up and realized that the bees can do more than just hunting them for what they produce, they started fabrication of beehives. So they fabricated better hives that were giving a better environment for the bees. That after providing the bees with these structures or the beehives, they even produce more honey than they used to give when we were doing the honey hunting system long time ago. So my take on beekeeping is progressing very well, that people are adopting modern technologies that are safe for the bees, but also giving even bigger quantities of products like honey, bee venom, wax, and other products, to mention but a few.
Okay. What is the necessity of starting up beekeeping in Uganda?
Some of the necessities to start beekeeping are not very much. One, you need a beehive. You know, you cannot be a beekeeper unless you have a beehive. A beehive is that box where the bees are housed or where the bees store their honey. So you need a beehive. That is the key instrument you need, a beehive. The number two, because most people are afraid of bee stings, we innovated some bee protective wares that you can put on, go to the bees without any sting. And then number three, you need the bees baiting material, because when you get a beehive, you need something that will attract the bees to come and occupy your beehive. So you need the bees baiting material, which is the wax or the essential lemon oil. Another thing you need is the bees smoker. It is an important tool that when you smoke the bees, they come down and you're able to do your activities with ease. Like the bees do not communicate when you smoke them. So it gives you room for you to do any activity you've gone to do, either harvesting or inspection. So it is an important tool. You cannot do away with it when you go to your apiary. Another thing we need in beekeeping, which is also a necessity, is a hive tool. This is what we use for opening a beehive in case we want to harvest honey, in case we want to do any form of inspection. So you need a hive tool. It is that small equipment we use for opening the beehive, and then we are able to see what is taking place in the beehive. Because a lot of beekeepers fail on that. When they don't open their beehive to see what's happening in their beehive, they lose it. So it is that important tool called the hive tool that enables a farmer to open a beehive, and then they're able to see what is happening in the beehive, so that they time their honey harvest very well. Another important thing you need, most important, is the training. You need to be trained, or you need to cap up with an experienced beekeeper, say that he guides you on what to do, because the biggest investment here in beekeeping is knowledge. Even if you get all other necessities I just mentioned and you do not have the knowledge, I think you're missing a point.
Okay, what can be done to improve the beekeeping in Uganda?
Things that can be done to improve beekeeping in Uganda is investing in planting forage. Forage, I mean planting trees, planting flowers, because the bee's life depends entirely on flowers. So if you don't have flowers, and most people are cutting down trees, they forget that the bees are dying because they do not have where to stay, they do not have what to feed on. So it needs us to plant more flowers if we must develop the beekeeping sector in Uganda. And then getting better beehives, because a long time ago we were using hives that would produce 1 kilogram of honey, 2 kilograms of honey. The old systems, the rudimentary ways of beekeeping were so poor. But today,
I normally see them in
Kigezi, actually we have a hive they call the Kigezi hive. But those were hives, much as they are good, we've come up with better beehives. So if we must develop beekeeping in Uganda, we must adopt to these new beehive technologies, then which are safe for the bees, but also giving us what we need and in big quantities. So the two things which I think should be done is planting more forage for the bees, and then stopping spraying, because these chemicals we spray to the environment also affect the bees, because most of them are insecticides. But if we stop the spray of them and adopt use of organic biopesticides that are not hazardous to the environment, that would be a good take in beekeeping.
Okay. Beekeeping is becoming a trade. Is it honey or what makes it?
Yeah. Most people, unfortunately, when you talk about beekeeping, they consider one product that is honey, which is not true.
Sure.
There are a lot more products that come from bees. Besides,
people say bee, I want honey from bees.
Yeah, honey from bees. Most people know beekeeping because of honey.
Oh, really?
But I would like to bring the good news to them that there are many products that come from bees, and they're actually more expensive than honey itself.
Sure.
Actually, most people today are going into beekeeping considering other products, not only honey.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we have a product called Venom. Most people have gone to
I've never heard of that.
Venom.
That cures cancer.
Exactly, and it has also
and AIDS. Is it true?
Yeah, it's very true.
Oh, the research is still going on.
The research is on, and people have testified that it really works. But to cut that short, we have other products that come from beekeeping besides honey. For example, we have the bee venom. You see, when a bee stings you and you swell, that liquid it secretes in your body is called bee venom. Now today we have machines that can be able to extract that bee venom from the bees without disturbing or even killing the bees. Okay. Yeah, we use a bee venom collector machine to collect this venom. This venom on the market, For example, if we sell it in terms of grams, because it is not easy to get it in kilograms, because the bees secrete liter at a time. So we can get like a gram of bee venom. You can raise as many grams as you can, but when we are buying, we buy in terms of grams. For example, 1 gram of bee venom costs about 100 Ugandan shillings. This is a lot of money compared to 1 kilogram of honey, which goes to about 25 to 30,000. So you can just clearly tell that bee venom is more expensive than the honey. Another product we get from the bees, besides what people knew, we get wax. You see, after harvesting honey from the combs, then you clean these combs very well and process a product we call wax. Most people know this wax.
Wine too.
Yeah, wine actually.
Wine?
Yeah. Now wine, that is a product, a product from honey. Okay. When you do value addition on honey, you can be able to come up with wine. Sure. So you can make wine, but that is not a product from bees, but it's a byproduct of honey. You've
That's
added
why
value.
I say a bee is a very important insect.
It is a very important insect, yeah. Now we have also the propolis. You see, when the bees are busy in the field, some of them have gone to collect nectar, water, but some of them have gone to collect the sap, because we remember those old days people used to treat themselves using sap from trees. They chop a tree, and when the sap is dripping off, they take that and they are able to cure themselves of cough, flu, and such other diseases like diabetes. But today the bees can go to the tree, collect this sap, bring it to the beehive, then mix it with their saliva and wax, and they come up with something we call propolis. And we, the farmers, go harvest that propolis. We process it. Where we can add in some other products. And this is what now we sell to the to the clients or to the customers who are having several healthy problems. So that is another product we got from bees. It is called propolis. The bees collect it from field for several reasons. For example, if there is any unnecessary opening on the beehive, they use this propolis to seal that opening that is on the beehive. And even when something dies in the beehive, for example, a rat or a snake, because these are some of the things that affect the bees. So the bees are able to, in case such a thing dies in the beehive, because the bees are too small to push it out, they mix it with such a thing can stay there in the beehive without rotting or even smelling, until it is chopped into pieces by the effect of propolis to sizes that the bees can push out of the beehive.
So I'm looking at what would be like the input. I want to start up a big project. What would be the input?
The input is, it really depends on your area, because most people have contacted experienced beekeepers or even experts and asked that question. But this question looks a bit vague unless you go on ground. You have to go on ground, check, you do what we call a site survey. This site survey helps one to ascertain the carrying capacity of that place. For example, someone would tell you I have 3 acres of land, but those 3 acres of land do not have flowers. So if you put there the bees, you will be starving them to death. So it is better to do a site survey. You carry out a carrying capacity and see that this 1 acre can accommodate 50 hives. Then you do the mathematics of what it requires to get the 50 hives on ground. Now, for example, commercially, it requires about 10 million to start a beekeeping project that is commercial. Yeah. I do not say that even if you start with 200 or what, you're not into beekeeping. But I'm speaking like a commercial beekeeper. Right. If you need to do it commercially, in agriculture, that's what it is. If you have one matoke or 1 banana plant that is enough to produce something for your family. Yeah. But if you need to produce as much as to feed even the entire community, you need to plant a lot of bananas. It is the same with bees. If you want to make a lot of money from bees, put as many hives as you can. But also do not forget to plant a lot of flowers. Even if you put 1,000 hives but you do not have flowers, it is a failed project.
How many years will it take for the bee hive to expire?
Actually, it does not expire. Beekeeping is a lifetime project. Yeah. It is a lifetime project.
The house where they live.
Yes. Now, now, for example, the hives we make from a certain material that is durable enough, and it can go up to 20 years. After 20 years, and the hive is old, or anything has happened to it, we are free to give you another beehive, and you transfer the bees from that old beehive and put them in the new bee box. Otherwise, beekeeping still continues for years. The bees do not expire. It is the structure where you put them that might expire, and that can be renovated.
You're expert in beekeeping. How will it cost? I'm so touched. how will it cost for me if I want to start up? You train me and then start up. What's your fee training?
Now, because the bees give us these products free of charge. They go to field, hunt them for free. Yeah, we steal from them. I wouldn't consider it professional to charge someone any professional fees because the bees are going to give you this free of charge. So in case you need knowledge is given free of charge. So you can just consult me or visit our Mr. Bees Facebook pages, Mr. Bees Africa on all social media handles. You can be able to get this knowledge. And in fact, by me being here on this platform, have given you knowledge free of charge. Really? Those watching it won't be. Yes, yes.
Workshop. So I'm looking at what are the challenges. Let me count out what are the challenges if you start the bee projects.
Absolutely, this is a good question because the biggest mistake people who want to invest in something, the biggest mistake they do is they consult from sales people, and this has costed them a lot. Contracting from salespeople, it is important to consult from people who are practicing something on ground. Okay. So that is one challenge I've just mentioned: consulting from salespeople by farmers, not the experts, or even the practical beekeepers. So another thing is the bee phobia. A lot of people still fear bee stings. However, we've come up with several solutions like having protective gears. You can put on a protective gear. You go to your apiary, open the bees anytime you want, and come back without any sting. So that is another challenge. Another challenge is laziness among beekeepers. Because they think bees are so independent that the bees will go to the field and hunt for nectar and pollen or anything they have gone to hunt. They think they are not included anywhere. But these bees are affected by many pests. For example, the snakes, I just mentioned them earlier on, the snakes, the lizards. So if you do not give your bees extra care like management or managing these pests, your bees are really in trouble. So if you don't manage them, you will always miss out, like even on harvesting, because harvesting honey needs timing. Okay. You need to know that, and to time, you need to be inspecting and seeing the status of how the bees have built honey in the combs and be able to tell that maybe by June I will be harvesting honey. So one challenge is lack of inspection by beekeepers has costed them that they have missed on harvesting, their bees have been affected by pests. So those are some of the challenges I think that are so important to put into consideration. Not to forget the deforestation, people cutting down trees, and our bees starving without having anywhere to pick the nectar or the resources to feed into their beehives. So those are the key challenges, I think.
Most people would like to start up the project of beekeeping, but they are very scared of bee sting. They say bees are very aggressive. They might attack the animals. They might attack people who are around there, that place. As a consultant, what would you say about this?
I do not think it is only those who are not into beekeeping that fear bees. If you don't need to fear bees, start them. It's just like finding someone's dog and it barks at you. You get scared, but the owner will even touch it into its mouth. So the bees can easily be tamed. You can tame the bees to know you.
There is a way you tame them?
Yeah, there is a way of taming them. For example, one way of taming the bees is feeding them. If you feed them, you go to their apiaries regularly, and every time you go there, you take them something like juices. These juices we take, the bees too love them. If you have some ripe fruits, you can also take them. If you keep taking them for several days or several months, the bees get used to you, that this person comes to the apiary and brings us such a good thing, so he's not dangerous. Another thing is when you visit your apiary after removing your bee protective wear, you must sweat, of course. And when you sweat, remember that sweat of yours has some pheromone in it. So if you remove that bee suit and place it on top of the bee suit for days, the bees will continue to pick the scent from that cloth, and eventually when you put it on the next day, they will know that it has been here, it is not of danger. So you're trying to tame them to know you by scent. So the moment the bees get used to your scent, they become easy on you. They don't become aggressive when you visit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are still with Mr. B. Africa is a very important person in this country. Talk the Walk show is on. What are the contacts? Somebody wants to get you.
So for those who might want to talk to me, or to get connected to Mr. Bees Africa Limited, you can visit our different social media handles: Mr. Bees Africa Limited on Twitter, Mr. Bees Africa Limited on Facebook, Mr. Bees Africa Limited on any social media platform. We are there. And then those who might want to contact me directly via probably WhatsApp, you can contact me on +256 78 10 75 802. I would repeat that those who want to contact me via WhatsApp, you can contact me via +256 78 10 75 802. And then we are also available on our email, mrbeesuganda@gmail.com. You can also visit our website, www.mrbeesafrica.com. You will find us there, and we shall be able to provide this knowledge to you free of charge.
I'm looking at the people who have a very big piece of land. They leave it for monkeys and some animals. What would you say, I mean, if as you in beekeeping, can they use this piece of land to do this project? I mean, keep this project burning?
Absolutely, because people have done it before. Yeah. If you have a piece of land that is lying idle, beekeeping is the best project to put there. Because as I mentioned,
you appeal to them.
I appeal to those ones who have big chunks of land
outside the country, here, Europe, where
those in
Ugandans mostly.
Those Ugandans in the diaspora. Yeah. If you have land in Uganda or any African country,
contact Mr. B.
Contact us, and we shall be able to set you a powerful mega bee project that will fetch you money besides your other business you're doing.
No supervision, no what?
No supervision, no feeding the bees. The bees just take care of themselves. Yeah. Though you also need to show the love to them.
Viewers, the walk shall be on every Friday, being sponsored by TC Holiday Homes. Mr. B, before we wind up, what's your last word?
My last word would be, I appeal to everyone to join beekeeping because it is a lucrative venture. And then number two, I appeal to those who are not able to do beekeeping, because in beekeeping we have a saying that if you're not a beekeeper, know your beekeeper or help a beekeeper. Yeah, really. So I appeal to those who have the potential to help those who are in position to do beekeeping to do so. If you're an NG and you can help a certain group of people in your community, just take a step and help them.
What would be your last word before we wind up?
My last word would be, I appeal to everybody, the Ugandans, those Ugandans in the diaspora, to join beekeeping because it is a lucrative venture. Just like we've discussed that there are several products that come from beekeeping. So beekeeping is not entirely a full-time job. It does not stop you from doing your other main business. It is a side business. So because the bees are independent, they will be working for you as you're also concentrating on another business. Okay. I also appeal to NGOs or any organization that are not into beekeeping, but they are in position to help groups or communities that are into beekeeping to also do so. Because when we win in beekeeping, we all win together. In fact, a certain gentleman called Albert Einstein once quoted that if the bees disappeared, it would take not more than 4 years for the whole world to cease. Yeah, really. Because the bees do pollination. Many of the crops we eat, I'm sure by now everyone has eaten a fruit, but they forget that this fruit was for pollinated by the bees.
And they don't know that the work was done
by the bees. They do not know. So there are those people who would really love to do beekeeping, but they don't have a piece of land to do it, or it is not just their thing. But if you're able to help people who are able to do so, I appeal to you to do so, because the bees are really important to us in one way or the other. So my last word would be that those who would want to get in touch with me, you can contact me via my WhatsApp number. That is +256 78 10 75 802. I would like to take this opportunity to repeat this number. That is +256 78 10 75 802. If you contact me via that number on WhatsApp, I would offer you much knowledge on beekeeping free of charge.
Well, thank you very much. The Canons, welcome to Talk the Walk Show. We have your contacts. Yeah. So we would like to wind up. This has been Mr. Ruswata Alan, together with my cameraman, Mr. Oris. We say pow.